Speaking with Dennis Hall, it's just here for the induction ceremonies for the National Wrestling Hall of Fame. He just got to see his plaque that'll be here in the Hall of Fame forever about his wrestling career. Dennis, what were your thoughts when you got the call that this year you were going to go in as a Hall of Fame member?
I thought it was great. You know, it's not something you really think a lot about until it happens. But to have the honor of being in here with all these guys that are in this, it's pretty amazing.
Now, you wrestled in the Greco-Roman style and made a choice pretty early in your life to pursue that. You didn't stay with a college career. You weren't after freestyle. You won a lot of age group junior Greco titles. What was it about Greco that really got you interested and had you set those high goals?
Part of it was I wrestled my brother a lot. We trained together, and my brother Dale would always beat me in freestyle, so I learned how to do Greco young. And you know, he was the guy that made me choose Greco, which is kind of funny. But you know, the reason I chose it is I loved the I guess the physical style of Greco-Roman wrestling. Always having to be in contact, and the throws. The throws were exciting. They were fun to practice, and it was just, it fitted my body style.
You never really did the conventional route to success. You trained back home in Wisconsin for a while. You'd bring foreign athletes over to spend time with you all the time, and suddenly you were out there being the one winning medals. Well, what made you decide that you would take a different focus and learn from other countries and make friends around the world to help your wrestling?
You know, when I went overseas and wrestled in my early tournaments, you know, I knew they were better than us. You could see that they knew how to lift a lot better. They had better parterre defense, and you know, if you can't beat them, bring them over was my philosophy. And you know, first guy I brought over was Ivan Ivanov, and he's actually, you know, was a great training partner, hard worker. And once I brought him over, I figured out how to do it. It became easier, and to me, to become one of the best in the world, you got to train their style.
Right.
And it's crazy. Right now, I got a guy from Armenia, good friend of mine, Agassi Minuki, and one of my former training partners is living in Stevens Point, Wisconsin. And we still roll around a little bit. And when I go technically with him, he mops me up still to this day. And you know, you got to figure out how to wrestle them, and it was a great experience for me having those guys over because they're technically better. I'm not, you know, you can say we have gotten a lot better technically as a country, but it's just a little bit different style. We wrestle different than the Europeans.
Well, let's talk a little bit about 1995. That was a year in which you did it all. You won the World Championship, the second American to ever win a world title, 10 years since Mike Houck had won his. What was right about that year where you were able to put it together and win the match in the finals and come home with the gold?
You know, I think good training year-round, just a new it all started when I won my world bronze. After I won my world bronze and was on the podium, I said, you know, I set the goal of becoming a world champion right after when I was on the podium. And I think it's just more focus, and that I had success at the world level, which in turn made me believe more that I could do it.
Now, 96 Olympic Games, a silver medal. Your thoughts and remembrances of that? You ran into Melnichenko again in the finals there, and this time he won it, but you came home with a medal from the United States.
It was a battle. You know, I remember the day that I got the silver medal. I didn't like it. Very disappointed. I didn't care about it. Just kind of tossed it in my bag after I left the arena. You know, I ended up, I was crushed. You know, you train your whole life to win that tournament and become an Olympic champion. And when I ended up second, it was frustrating, you know. But the more I look back at it, it was a heck of a feat. And being in the Olympics and being able to represent my country and win a medal for our country was an awesome feeling, especially with it being in our own country. And the fans were so great. I remember the fans cheering loud even though I had lost. And they had a bunch of close matches at the Olympics, and I remember the fans and them screaming USA, USA, or Hall, and it motivated me to pull through those tough matches. So for me, wrestling in Atlanta was a huge treat. I love the fact that I was able to win my medal in my own country.
Now, 3 Olympic teams, and in the last Olympic run, you dropped a lot of weight. You went up and wrestled one of your best friends, Brandon Paulson, in the championship finals, the longest match I can remember in an Olympic trials history, and you made that team. What was it like, A, to be able to have the discipline to get to the lower weight class, and B, come through at your age for a 3rd Olympic try?
I made a decision in August that I was dropping down a weight class and that I was going to make the attempt at getting down to 21. And before that, I hadn't been down there since junior year in high school. But I believed I could do it, and I set my mind to it, and then I started training, kept it kind of quiet that I was cutting down. And, you don't want to give Brandon Paulson, a guy like that, time to train for you and get ready for you. But he had time to train for me anyway. And it was a tough battle. For me, it was hard to wrestle him because we had trained so much together, helping each other, getting ready for 96 and just at world teams and things like that. But it was something I had to do personally because I felt that was my best chance to win an Olympic gold medal. And, I remember after the match was over, went up to him, gave him a hug, and I said, "I'm sorry." I said, "I love you," and I go, we gave the crowd what they came here for. I said, "We got nothing to be ashamed of." I said, "You got nothing to be ashamed of." And I meant everything. I felt bad. I remember the look on his face, and I remember that feeling from 4 years earlier, and it sucked.
Right.
And, I felt his pain. At the same time, I was happy because my kids were going to be able to watch me compete in the 2004 games. So it was bittersweet. But I definitely knew I wanted him to come as a training partner because he's a great guy. And he came over to me came over to Athens with me and the team, and he was helpful.
Let's talk a little about coaching. I mean, you've done quite a bit of it, different levels. Worked a little bit with our Greco program for a year up at Northern Michigan, and some of the athletes you've worked with as youth are now winning national titles. Ben Provisor, people like that. Jesse Thielke, who's one of our top age group guys. What do you enjoy about the coaching?
I love that it's Greco.
Yeah.
I love teaching any style of wrestling, but to me, my specialty is Greco. I enjoy helping these guys out in a field that isn't taught much in the United States. We need more coaches, more guys like myself giving back to the sport, whether it's just in your own hometown where you gotta. Maybe you put on a Greco camp to draw interest for kids. I think we need to keep promoting it, keep building it. USA Wrestling's got it right with the program up in Northern Michigan. They're doing a great job up there. They're producing world team members, Olympians, and things like that. And I think if we keep plugging away as a whole group, we're going to get good things done.
Any final thoughts about, your family and friends and people that are going to share this weekend with you?
Yeah, I'm excited to have members of my family down here. My wife flies in tomorrow. She was teaching today. But she gets in here tomorrow for the reception, and I'm going to bring her over here tomorrow after she gets in, and hopefully you can catch a peek.
Yeah, well, we're going to give everyone a peek. That's not a bad look of you there, Dennis, right? Congratulations on your Hall of Fame honors, and have a great weekend, buddy.
Thanks.